I am traveling again and I'm really excited. This is my first full day here. I actually got here yesterday morning, but it was a pretty busy but delirious day. I was just very tired, but today I explored quite a bit, and I'm actually probably going to put this clip before everything else because, well, it is almost 8 o'clock in the evening and I didn't vlog this morning, nor when I was out and about. So today I did a lot, and I'm going to kind of talk about that, but probably do a voiceover. But yeah, just overall, my first impressions of Scotland and Edinburgh, it's pretty amazing. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Ireland. It's I would say the hospitality is about the same. People are just really nice here. Feel-wise, it feels like to me a cross between Dublin and Galway. Like kind of, it's definitely it has a city scene, but it's not as chaotic as like a place like probably comparing apples to oranges here, but it's not like Copenhagen, where I just felt like it was very city. This kind of has a nice mix between the two, so I'm really excited about that. I actually ended up flying into Glasgow because it was pretty cheap. I got it for about $200 US dollars one way. And then from there I took a train that took about an hour. So 2 full days here. So I'm really excited to take you along with me. Yeah, welcome to Edinburgh, Scotland, and let's go explore. My first stop on Wednesday was to Dean Village, which is to the northwest of the city centre. It was the centre of the grain milling area for over 800 years in Edinburgh, and it is really a lovely place just to walk around and relax for a bit. Check out the Edinburgh Castle, and it was one of the most important strongholds in Scotland and has been involved in many conflicts and wars over its history. It is one of Scotland's most visited attractions, with over 2 million visitors in 2018. I didn't actually visit inside, but the grounds of the castle and surrounding area are pretty beautiful. On Thursday morning, I woke up early to hike to Arthur's Seat, which was very close to my accommodation. It is actually an extinct volcano situated about a mile from the Edinburgh Castle. Almost to the top. I still have a little bit to go, but we're getting there. It's not too bad. Its peak is 822 feet, or about 250.5 meters, and provides a beautiful panoramic view of the city, as you can see here, but it was a little bit foggy. I do recommend sturdy athletic shoes or boots, as they can be pretty slippery, as was the case the day I visited, and I would recommend going early in the morning. When I went, there were only a couple other people around, and when I looked at the peak later in the day, it was pretty crowded, so the early bird gets the worm. Later in the day, I headed over to the National Museum of Scotland. I actually went on my first day, but I was way too tired to comprehend anything. The museum has a ton of interesting exhibits, although I thought the one with all these cell phones was pretty interesting because these cell phones are considered history. What? It makes me feel old. And did anyone have a Razr phone? Because I always wanted one, but I could never get one. The museum is free, although a donation is requested, and you can easily spend an entire afternoon here. And definitely don't forget to check out the rooftop. Then began my self-guided Harry Potter tour of Edinburgh. The Elephant House is where J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter book, and Victoria Street nearby is supposedly where she found the inspiration for, you guessed it, Diagon Alley. And actually a hidden gem in Edinburgh is the city chambers. There are J.K. Rowling's handprints in bronze, so go give her a high five. I also ended up in Greyfriars Kirkyard, which is where supposedly J.K. Rowling drew some inspiration for some of her characters. I'm sure you'll see some familiar names here, such as Tom Riddle, Mad-Eye Moody, Professor McGonagall, and of course the Potters. There's also an unofficial grave for Sirius Black. I also wandered over to St. Giles Cathedral. I definitely recommend just taking a couple minutes to go check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. The stained glass is just stunning, so I recommend it. I ended my day in Calton Hill, and this is a pretty popular park just to chill out and take in a good view. This is also where I was able to see Arthur's Seat a little bit later in the day, and I could see how crowded it was. I definitely recommend, if it's a good day, just to take maybe a half hour or so just to people watch and smile awkwardly at the camera like I just did. On my final day, I headed over to the Scottish Parliament. It's across from the Palace of the Holyrood House, which is the official residence of the British monarch in Scotland. If you're there to visit that, I definitely recommend visiting the Scottish Parliament across the street. It's a free self-guided tour that's actually pretty interesting, and the building is pretty cool itself. And talking about free things to do, the Museum of Edinburgh is a fun place to spend an afternoon. It looks actually pretty small on the outside, but it is filled with exhibits, including an original copy of the National Covenant signed at Greyfriars Kirkyard in 1638. And that's it. That's my trip to Edinburgh. I had an amazing time, and I really hope to be back in the future, not only to Edinburgh, but to Scotland in general, just to explore other areas of the country. Everyone was so extremely nice, and I felt at home almost immediately, which is really important as a solo traveler. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you love travel content, and I'll be back soon with some more travel vlogs from this trip.